How you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Pretty good, thanks. We got Mike in the back. Hey, Mike. What's up, everybody? All right, we are in the Dodge Durango SRT, which has
475 horsepower,
yeah,
470 foot-pounds of torque.
Nice. Well, I've driven this before, actually. I've done a review on this, but I want to show everybody what it's like on the track. We're not going to race around because we don't have helmets on, but kind of give you guys an idea of what the sound is like. And while we have you in here, Bob, we can talk about how this thing came to life, or we could talk about a few things that maybe some people would like to know, like maybe some like secret sauce kind of stuff.
So I will share what I can for sure.
Okay.
Yep.
What we'll do is, if you could just hold that for a second,
sure.
I'll put my seatbelt on. Just make sure I get adjusted here. Let's see, that's better. Cool. And then we'll talk about this real quick.
Sure.
So we have different track modes, right? But we're in sport. Since we're on the track here, we want to go to the track. And what does this do here?
What this does is we've got different parameters for each one of the settings. I think the easiest way to look at it is to look at custom, and then we'll go back to track.
Okay.
Where you can see all the parameters across the top, where you can adjust transmission, paddle shifters, stability, all-wheel drive, suspension, and steering.
Okay.
So what each one of those drive modes, is what we call them, does is it sets up certain settings for each one. In a custom mode, you can adjust it to however you like, depending on track conditions, depending on how your driving skill is.
Okay.
So if we go back here, this is the setting for track. So what this does is this limits your suspension travel, because on the track you obviously want to have as much handling as possible.
Mm-hmm.
So the vehicle will be really stiff, so you'll feel a lot different to not only the suspension, but your shift points get a lot quicker. Mm-hmm. Your steering gets a lot more firm. Okay. And you're in complete control with the paddle shifters, so the engine will go to redline and it'll stay there if you want it to. Okay. So it's set up for the track the best way. And
the last thing here is all-wheel drive track means it's going to send 70% of the power to the rear?
Absolutely. Yep. Okay. 70 to the rear, 30 to the front.
Okay, well, I am ready. Are you ready?
Absolutely.
Ready, Mike?
Yep. I'm ready.
All right. Why don't we have you hold this
Sure.
while I just drive through to the checkpoint.
Okay.
Be sure to listen to how this thing sounds, because I love it.
Yeah, there's a lot of science that went into the exhaust note, and people that hear that for the first time, it's somewhat hard to believe, but it's really something that sells this vehicle and sells our performance vehicles at Dodge and SRT, is the way that they sound. So why don't you tell me about that? Because I read somewhere in a press release that they use resonators for the exhaust on this one instead of the RT. Like, yes. What's different between this and the RT? Well, without being, you know, I'm not going to get into the engineering side of it, okay. But it's certainly something that people in the performance world love the sound of their vehicles, you know. And we've got, with our Mopar brand and our Mopar team, mm-hmm. They're constantly doing different type of exhaust notes. Like, we've got a new exhaust for this from Mopar. Okay. That just got announced a few weeks ago. Oh, yeah. Yeah. With carbon fiber trim and all that other stuff that comes with it? Yes. Yeah. Exactly. So it's part of that package. Well, let me stop you there for a second. So there's no launch control on the Durango SRT, right? There actually is, but it would probably take a few minutes for us to practice it. We don't have time for that. Okay. So we're just going to go for it. I'm going to hold the camera here just to show you guys what the acceleration is like to the top of that hill. And then I'm going to hand the camera off to you, and then we're going to go through some corners. And then Mike, speak up if you have any questions. You good back there? I'm good back here. Okay. Ready? So far. Okay, we're going to go. Woo! I love that sound, guys. Go ahead and hold this camera for me, please. Thank you. So as you felt, being in track mode, those shift points are pretty aggressive, and you just put your foot down, and not only does it accelerate really well with, you know, that 70-30 split. Let's get the track here. Go ahead. But it's you know, it's pretty impressive for a 5,000-pound SUV. Oh yeah.
Yeah, you certainly don't feel like you're in an SUV in the sense, because the body roll is totally reduced in here.
Yes, for sure.
I mean, you're never really going to take corners like this on a daily drive, but you could on a track. Hey Mike, can you hold this for me? Just keep that centered, and we'll go through the track. We'll see what it's like for the back seat. Man. Now we don't have helmets, so I'm not going to go crazy fast. We're not going to go past 7/10. We're just going to keep it somewhat gentle. If we had helmets, I'd be a little bit more aggressive here. Someone has been. I'm gonna skip that. But even lane change, I mean, you can make an emergency maneuver and seem like you're gonna be in full control all the time.
You're doing really well.
I came out of those Toyotas where they're like, you can't talk about how it drives. We always end up talking about how I'm driving, which is the funny part. Big brakes. Those Brumbo brakes are awesome.
Yes, that's another big part of it.
That's 50 miles an hour through here. Not a race, but just to give you an idea of the capability here. At Eagles Canyon Raceway.
Which is kind of turning out to be a little hidden gem out here at Eagles Canyon.
Right, yeah. I'm just surprised, like, collectively we drove 900 times around this track. 900 laps yesterday. Wow. Yeah. Now this is the 6.4 liter.
This is the 6.4 liter Hemi. And one thing that we didn't talk about that I'd like to bring up, and granted we're at a racetrack, but
yeah,
this Durango SRT will also tow 8,700 pounds. So that's a very impressive number for those of people that want to tow their race car to the track.
I was a little worried when it was up on 2 wheels, but you pulled it out, so I'm happy for you.
Awesome, thank you. Yeah, there's a magic spot in there somewhere. No? Yeah. Is it good? Okay. Technical difficulties. There we go.
There we go.
So you guys, when you talk about towing capacity, like that was one of your goals when you engineered this?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. It's being a 3-row, something that can haul the family and it can haul all of your equipment. It's something that we really wanted to engineer into this, that people have a lot of stuff to tow, whether it's a camper, whether it's a boat, whether it's a race car. So we feel like this one does it better than most. So
yeah, this was one vehicle I took on a road trip from Dallas to Austin, and that was an incredible road trip. I mean, just the power and passing ability, just this thing does it. So
it's awesome. It's good to hear.
And the ride was fantastic. I haven't published that video yet, but what I basically said was driving this for 3 hours during that drive felt like I was in like a movie theater, because this thing is so well insulated. It feels so solid. It just felt like I was watching Die Hard for 3 hours. But I was John McClane, like it was cool.
Awesome.
So thank you very much, Bob.
Absolutely. No problem, Brian.
And I appreciate it. You're watching New Car Spin. I'm Brian Grant. I put the spin on new cars, and I'll see you later. Please leave a comment below if you have any questions, and please like and subscribe. We're coming up with the Challenger Hellcat wide body soon. See ya.